Testing, testing, online, streaming, testing. Alright, I think we're up and ready to go. Hello, hello. Audio sounds good. I think we're solid there. I fixed it from yesterday. Someone said it was a little quiet, the mic, so it should be better today because it's still set up how it was after the fix yesterday. So it should be good. We'll see how it goes. Suppose I could just scream if anything. That'll probably work. So we're listening to Same As Always. I've not found more. I should say I've not verified more copyright-free music. So I'm sticking with GameChops, Zelda and Trilogy. I wrote it in the description if you want to check it out. You can do that. It's copyright free. My other videos got taken down because I used music that said it was copyright free, but it wasn't, apparently. So that's sticking with this for now. And tonight I'm doing something a little bit different than I've done on previous streams. This is actually an illustration that I'm working on. And oops, don't want that. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so this is an illustration that I'm working on. It's Gohan fighting the androids from History of Trunks, the Dragon Ball Z movie. It's always my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie and my favorite version of Gohan. So yeah, just wanted to do an illustration of him. I'm actually working on a new illustration portfolio when I'm not streaming usually, to get a new client, hopefully, if it all works out. But it's going to take a while and take a few illustrations, and so I'm basing these illustrations off of kind of like splash art and trading card illustrations, because that's the client that I'm trying to get. So yeah, I'm sort of doing this, even though it's Dragon Ball Z, I'm doing it in the same aspect ratio, and I'm trying to follow some of the same compositional guidelines, because if it was a trading card, it would need to be, you know, readable at a very small size, so that's important. You know, that takes specific considerations for composition, like really readable silhouettes, and you know, the lighting needs to read really well and all that. So I'm in the early stages. I've been doing some thumbnails. I'm not even totally sure I'm gonna go with this particular composition yet. I'm leaning towards it because I like this one, but I've got a couple other ones I might look over while I'm streaming tonight and see which one kind of seems the best to me, or maybe even draw some new ones if I don't like any of them. But I kind of like this one, so I might go with this one if I don't like the other ones. But I'm gonna take another look at them, maybe sketch in some backgrounds and see if I like them more after I do that, like I have with this one. The other ones are just quick sketches so far. They're not really they don't have any tone filled in like this one does. Even though this one's very basic still though. But yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to try to keep a close watch on my chat tonight, make sure I catch any questions. Just talking to people last time, it was pretty fun. So yeah, Hangout, I'm going to draw, going to be doing all this, have some fun. Noodling around with Gohan and the androids. Yeah, so I was sort of playing with some tone in these ones to get a feel for how that might work out. Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm liking this one. I've got a couple others I'm gonna cycle through and kind of see if I think I can do something with them. I'm gonna flip this real quick so I can see it with fresh eyes for a second. Yeah, I kind of like that feeling like he's boxed in. I like it how they're going back and receding in space, and it's even creating, like if you look at it, it's creating an arc going up this way. So it's got good motion. I like Gohan's pose. I like that you can kind of see his face, but that he's just not like, you know, straight onto camera or just standing there or something. And 17 is over here, and he's that was a horrible arrow. 17's over here, and he's like rushing at him with his arm curled up. I might adjust that a little bit and redraw. I'm definitely going to redraw over this to make sure everything's tightened up before I go further with it if I choose this one. But yeah, I'll probably have to redraw his arm. I might change the position a little bit. But even the negative space I'm liking. I think all the shapes are pretty good. There's maybe a couple things I want to adjust and play with as far as that goes, but overall kind of like this one so far. So that's kind of why I've landed on it a little bit. But let's look at some of the other ones. Oh, so that's just the line of this one. And then, yeah, I was playing with something that would be more like a medium shot, kind of, where he's just kind of still that idea of being boxed in, but more like close in. You can see the faces more. I feel like the poses aren't as good in this one, though, and I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's just a different thing than this. This shows a little bit more of their poses. It's not bad though. I think that one could work too. And then I've also got, I think this is the last one. Yeah, so this was the one that I initially thought I was going to go with. Something where they're all full body and you can kind of see him. He's sort of, Gohan sort of, I wanted to give him the sense that he's not sure what he should be addressing because there's two of them attacking him at once, which goes kind of with the boxed in thing. And again, they're receding back in space. It's a nice diagonal line, but I feel like being a little bit closer in makes it a little bit more personal, and it even might read a little bit better or more interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll play with this one a little bit more, but I think this one sells it better, the vibe that I'm going for, than this one. Although the thing that I like about this one is Gohan does look a bit more heroic in this pose. But this one's more scrappy and it feels like they're right in on him. Not that this one doesn't. This one's good too. Let's see here. Yeah, I feel like the composition isn't as strong though. Something about it, and that doesn't mean it can't be fixed, but something about it isn't quite balanced. It's a little off. The background could even that out, so it's not really that big a deal. There's other things I could do. I could adjust the posing a little bit, but I mean, generally speaking, I don't know. It might not be as solid. I think the thing that I liked about this one though is I had this idea that like maybe I could do whatchamacallit, like a Dutch tilt, so like I could have it so that the buildings in the background are kind of like this and pointing in, like they're just between two, and the perspective is just so that it's doing that, kind of. Because I still wanted them to be in the air, even though this one kind of looks like 18's crouching in this pose. But I think this could still work with the right background setup. But it would be probably a lot busier of a background, because I would have a lot more buildings in here. Not that you can't simplify it, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe not the best option. Let's see. Something like this. Maybe this one's way lower down there, farther away. And there could be like some of those big, they have a lot of those dome-shaped buildings in DBZ. This perspective's throwing me off a little bit. Let me see if it's going this way. It'd be like this. So it'd be like this. Maybe have that here, actually. Yeah, could be better with this here. And then maybe a smaller one off in the distance, overlapping, so that I'm repeating elements and whatnot. Yeah, Toriyama loves those dome-shaped buildings and things. Something like that, but I don't like how that's actually interacting with Gohan there. I don't think that's helping. I think you should kind of have this here, if you're going to have this here. And then maybe that'll be more boxed in like that. And I need some more buildings, I think, to continue evening that out. Or maybe even like, I don't know. Oh, you know what I could do? Because I feel like it needs something up here, but I don't know what it would be. But like maybe you could have, because in my reference here there's some like highways, like twisting highways, and you know, it's like a futuristic city, so you could just have like a bridge like that's going from one building to another, and you could kind of sell that, the idea of something being up there that way. Or even maybe like do it back here, like it's coming out of this building, so it's kind of going back in perspective. Here, let's make sure that reads well. So something like that, and like it's going way back. And this is like the bottom side of it, down here. That could be cool, and just have that passing through Gohan, and then it'll kind of bring attention to him and kind of lock him in there. And now looking at it with this stuff, I feel like this could be a little more balanced if like maybe I just move him over a little bit, like if I move him here, and that kind of feels better. But maybe the whole thing is just kind of too off center, because I feel like I want him a little more in the center actually. So maybe he should be here. That might be a little close to the android here though. Let me see if I can make them a little smaller so he's not interfering as much. Or she. I think I wanted this to be 18 in the foreground. Oh no, I think it's 17 because I think 18 I wanted in the background still more. But the problem is I want Gohan to... I should probably just let this one get cut off more and keep it larger, because I definitely wanted this to be like... I don't think it sells it here just having these figures as rough as they are yet, but what I wanted for this was to if I drew a quick perspective grid. So I wanted the characters to be going back in space, like something like about like this, or maybe more even. So you know, if this head size is here, then this one's here, and this one's even bigger because it's just closer to camera. So I wanted them to definitely be in that sort of an arrangement. Right now, they're not drawn sharply enough to tell. I don't know if I like having Gohan's face in this be a total profile view like this, though. That's something I'd have to think about. Here, I could probably make Gohan bigger. Yeah, and so in perspective you can tell, because this head is so much larger than this one, you can tell that this is still more forward in perspective, but he's smaller, so he's not taking up as much space that way. Yeah, I don't actually... Yeah, I really don't hate this one. I feel like he might need to be turned more in perspective, though. 17. Because... I feel like it doesn't... Well... I think as long as his head is turned enough, like if it's... Like if his head is turned enough, like so that it's way like this, and you're just seeing that cheek basically, and a bit of the nose, so that you know he's looking right at Gohan, and then the ear would be kind of like at this angle. I think that'll work, but his body is like more like this way, so I don't know if I like that as much. So yeah, I think it's definitely between that one and this one. So let me move that one up here. Oh, I'm still flipped, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if it's... You know, this one is... I think this one's more interesting now that I have the background in. Maybe I should draw this one up a little bit more so that it's at the level of this one, and then I'll be able to make that call on which one I like more, because I like them both right now for different reasons. Or maybe I can answer the question for myself just by, do I want them closer, the camera closer in like this, or do I want more of a full body image? Yeah, tough call. I don't know, I can't make up my mind. think I can bring the other Android a little bit closer now because I made them all larger, so that they're a little larger in the frame, because I think that's hurting it right now, how small they are in the frame. Even lurching forward a bit like this, I think that works better, because now there's some convergence there between the three figures, and that feels more like these two are really trying to box him in, which is what I'm going for with this. So that's probably better, like that. And then I'm going to merge this down onto this guy, just so I can kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, I think, and even could be a little larger, just to really sell that difference in space. Or that they're in space. The depth. That's the word, the depth. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. This one's very dynamic now, I think, compared to the other one. It's much more dynamic. I think I even want to make the middle figure larger still. And I also like that they're both using energy attacks. It's kind of cool. And that'll create a nice cross against the bridge in the background. In fact, maybe even, now that I notice that, I might move it so that that works with that even better. And yeah, so now one of the cool things about this one is I think I have this arc going on, which is nice. From the heads like this. And then you have obviously the convergence going this way with the three figures. The only thing is, I don't know. I don't think it's an issue that he's kind of dead center like that. I think that works for this particular composition. It's definitely going to need a lot more of the background drawn in. Let me see if I can rough some of that in to get an idea. I might need a quick perspective grid. Not that this is even correct though. It's kind of janky. Let's say it's there, and it's maybe like kind of like this. I should use another color. There. Okay. So I think, yeah, I see. So for the buildings. Oops, that's not right. Yeah, so if these are going down to the ground plane and then they're right there, that's a little off, isn't it? Maybe the top of that building's like, so you could have buildings like all over if you wanted to, but you could also have them totally destroyed because there'll be a lot of rubble and stuff. So I could have like a, you know, super janky building that'll have like a crack shape that kind of points up and supports the focal point. You could do a lot of stuff with that. Yeah, see, I don't like how that's like too close there. Yeah, so I'll put this like here. Maybe that's not enough space between those buildings, but I'm just kind of roughing it in right now. Figure out what I'm doing. And so then this would be the angle of those windows. Maybe rise up over here to push towards him. Just have a busted floor here. Something like that. So yeah, that might work pretty well. And then we can have some more stuff like that over here. This one's going to be behind this dome-shaped building though, so you won't see much of it. But it'll just be kind of like this, I guess. Oops, not like that actually. We'll probably make some some more round stuff because Toriyama loves those round buildings. Something like that with like a Nice dome on top. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call. Maybe I like this one better now than the other one, now that I've fleshed it out a bit. The scale of these doesn't make any sense though. If the windows are that big, it should be tiny if it's off in that distance like that. I'm just kind of roughing this stuff in right now though. I'll change it up later for sure. Make all that stuff make sense, but I'm just trying to see if I have a good composition here. First. And then I could also have some clouds in here. They're kind of winding back in space. It was about to start, I mean, in this scene, it is about to start raining. This is the scene right before Gohan dies. When it's all rainy and dramatic. And then Trunks finds him and he freaks out. Goes Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan. Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of like this now. Alright, let me get these background layers separated so I can dull that a bit and see what I'm looking at here. Yes, that'll be the background. These buildings. So let me flip that again, because I think it's still kind of off balance though. Maybe when I fill in the tone though, it'll make sense, because that building, it's just a line right now, but that building behind one of the androids there is supposed to be anchoring it. I think that'll work when it reads that way. So I'll fill it in just right quick. Sorry, I'm super concentrated, so I'm kind of boring as far as talking goes right now. It's kind of a trade-off. I'm not super used to talking while drawing just yet. I've been doing it a little while, getting used to it, but I'm no pro or anything. Zelda music's so good, man. Freaking Koji Kondo. It's amazing. Always dig it. Alright, let's do some, like, if this is the horizon, we'll fill this in for the ground. Generally. I don't have to have some more buildings in there just as chatter, because it goes back so far in perspective. Or have the city kind of more in rubble and stuff. Figure that out as I go. That's not super important. I just need to get these all this the general gist of things, the big shapes, so I can tell if I like this composition the best. Okay, that's the background layer. Then we add a character folder. And then for that folder, oh, there's more. Add in the characters. And then I'll make them darker. And it's still really roughed in. It's really not, you know, finalized or drawn in any detail yet. So it's okay to move things around and adjust. It's very early stages. It's kind of the point. If you draw it too finished, you get kind of attached to things. You don't want to change anything. I've fallen for that many times. You draw too much detail too quickly, or just too finished too early on, and you get stuck with a bad composition, and you try to noodle with it later and it doesn't work. So I keep it loose in the beginning, just enough to kind of tell what's going on. The big important shapes, all that stuff. Poses, gestures, junk like that. I'm talking about art too much. I should talk about video games or something. I'm being boring. I didn't play any games yesterday. I was too busy. I think I'll have some time to play tonight though. I'm still playing through Cyberpunk again with all the updates. It's so much fun. Gosh, that game is freaking amazing. I want to live in that world, kind of. It's a terrible world, but there's such cool stuff going on. It's just really interesting to me. It's really neat. And I love how they developed everything, like the language of it. It's really clever. It just makes you feel like you're a part of this other culture. The more you play it, it's like I joined a cult or something. It's awesome. All the language, that's the main thing. They get you with the language, because then you're like, oh, I know the language now. Like Choom and Chrome and all that nonsense. It's super cool. Howdy, Borger. I just saw your comment, sorry. What's up? I'm just doing some illustration here. Drawing this. Trying to figure out which layout I want to go with. Either this one or, not that one. This one. It's gonna be Dragon Ball Z Illustration. I think this one might be a little more dynamic. But I like the closeness of this one. Not that one, this one. So I'm kind of working them both up a little bit till I make up my mind on which one I want to go with. I think either one would be good, but just trying to pick the best one, whatever that means. Yeah, and I'm gonna darken these clouds a little bit. I guess I shouldn't make them darker than the foreground buildings. I mean the background buildings. But they're rain clouds, so it'd be pretty dark. Borger says, always wanted to make art but never got the hang of it. You still can. You can learn. I was not good at it when I started. I'm still not good at it now. But I'm like better than I was when I started. I mean, it's just learning like anything else. If you want to do it, you can. It's hard though. It takes time. There's lots of great resources online, like classes and tutorials and things, though nowadays it's amazing how much content there is for that kind of stuff. Oh, well, thanks. But, you know, everybody's got... I mean, there's always people better out there, and I don't know. I'm definitely not as good as I want to be, so just gotta keep working at it, you know. That's part of the fun, though, really. But yeah, there's... Whoa. That was loud, you guys probably heard that. But yeah, there's a lot of car just drove by, or motorcycle or something. A lot of great artists out there, so I look at them and I'm like, geez, I don't know what I'm doing compared to that. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm having trouble deciding which composition I like more. Yeah, definitely gotta stick with it. And, you know, if you enjoy the process, that's, you know, you will, you know, it's just a fun thing to do. If you like it. Not everybody likes it, so. Yeah, this one still feels off balance. I don't know what that is. I almost just want to, like, take the whole thing and stretch it this way. Not stretch, but, like, I could crop it this way, make it a little bigger. I gotta remember, though, that I still gotta draw his hair. That's gonna get cropped out. I don't want that to happen. I actually probably have to make him a little smaller. The middle guy. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm new to streaming, so I've only done like a handful of these, but I'm liking it so far. I think I'm gonna keep going with the streams. People seem to like them, people who tune in, so that's cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff about the algorithm. I've heard, though, that if you want to make other videos, it's easier for people to find your streams on YouTube than Twitch. Because if you make on-demand videos on YouTube, people can find your stuff that way. And I would like to do some little tutorials and things, so I think that might help. And just, you know, being consistent with the streams and stuff. Oh no, Clip, don't bug out on me. Usually Clip's pretty good on this laptop. Jeez. I think it's just because this is a big file. It's like 6,000 pixels, 300 dpi. It's taking forever. Yeah, when I look at this one really small, I think I see what's making it off balance. I wonder if, let's see here. If I adjust him a little bit. Something like that. Borger says, mind if I ask a few questions about your career and such? Nothing personal, just want to see what it takes to get at this level. Sure, go for it. I think it's because his arm is sticking out so much. Maybe if I made it closer into the body a little bit, might help. How many years have you had at this, Borger says? You mean like how many years have I been doing this? I started doing it seriously and practicing seriously when I was back in 2014, so almost 10 years now. Yeah, long time. 9 years, wow, I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. That's scary. That's a lot of time, man. I don't know, this composition is a lot closer in and it's more simple. I think this might be the way I go. What was my major inspiration for like starting to work on getting good at art? It was I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as a career, and I watched a documentary about Drew Struzan, who was an amazing poster artist or illustrator who did a lot of movie posters in the 80s. If you look up his work, he's incredible. Drew Struzan, S-T-R-U-Z-A-N. You've probably seen a lot of his posters. He did like a bunch of Star Wars movie posters and all kinds of other amazing stuff for all sorts of movies all throughout the 80s. And I watched a documentary about him called The Man Behind... Was it The Man Behind the Poster, I think? And he mentioned in that documentary... I was blown away by his work. I had never seen it before that documentary. Or I had seen his work, but I didn't know who he was. And I remember watching and just being like floored by how amazing he was. And he mentioned that he went to school, to college, and he just wanted to learn something. And he put emphasis on that. And it kind of clicked in my brain, which is funny because I was like 23 when I watched that, I think, or 22. And it kind of clicked in my brain for the first time. Oh, you can learn to get good at like drawing and painting. You can go learn that if you want to. And he mentioned he went to college. He went to Art Center, which is an amazing school. It's very rigorous though. I didn't have the money to go to Art Center, so I wound up going elsewhere, but I found a school with a pretty good program, and I just started doing that. So I guess Drew Struzan was initially my big inspiration for wanting to be an illustrator, and that documentary. To answer your question. I'll probably draw these figures in a little bit more detail to give them a fair shake, but I feel like this composition, although it's more dynamic, it's a little bit more, it's not as simple and clean as the other one, so I feel like the other one might be better, especially if this is, the idea for this one is kind of as a trading card illustration, which is sort of what I was going for. It has to read really well, very small, so simple is better, I think. Was there a certain style of art you were focused on at the beginning? Borker asks. I guess because of that documentary, just illustration in general. I knew I wanted to be a working artist, a commercial artist, not a fine artist, and make a career out of it. So I was really focused on illustration. I got really into like Frank Frazetta and I liked NC Wyeth and some other classic American illustrators. Leyendecker, everybody loves Leyendecker. And I wanted to paint realistically, I knew that. So I kind of focused on that. But growing up, I always loved like anime art and manga and stuff like that. So I kind of got back to that a little bit as time went on. And then I got really into concept art when I was in college, and everything I did I wanted to look like super AAA concept art, and I've done some stuff like that, but and I like that stuff a lot, but I don't know if that's all that I want to do. I kind of like illustration a lot, so I want to do more illustration stuff for right now, I think. But yeah, I guess I've gotten into a wide variety of different kinds of art as far as styles and stuff go. I'm gonna put these all in one group and start drawing over them to kind of tighten all these up a bit. Maybe I should... that's fine. I'll try to ignore these. Well, yeah, I'm worried that if I keep these overlays on, I'm gonna stick to them too much and not want to draw over them. I'll try not to do that. What would my advice for a beginner artist be? That's a good question. I guess it depends what you want to do. If you want to make a career out of it, I would have different advice for if you just want to do it for fun. If you just want to do it for fun, but you also want to get better at it, I would say just keep doing projects that interest you, and just see what you pick up over time. Watch some tutorials, you know, have fun with it. If you wanted to do it as a career, I would say get pretty focused and get serious about it as soon as you can, because it takes a lot of time and sacrifice of a lot of other things because it takes so much time. And start getting really good at your fundamental skills, your fundamental art skills, like perspective in particular, and do a lot of figure drawing, you know, learn anatomy, go through the whole bracket. You'll find it online if you look up art fundamentals and go to like Proco. Proco's great for that, his channel. There's probably some other really good channels for art fundamentals, Marco Bucci, stuff like that. And just really start honing in on those. And you know, do the other thing too, work on stuff that you like and projects that you're excited about. But I mean, yeah, if you want to make a career out of it, definitely get your fundamentals down. And also, sort of think about where you want to aim at. Do you want to be like a concept artist? Do you want to be a certain kind of illustrator? Because if you want to be a children's book illustrator versus like, you know, like a marketing kind of illustrator or doing splash art and stuff, it will be different, like the level of skills that you need and stuff like that. So just kind of hone in on the things that you actually want to do and make a roadmap for yourself. You know, plan that out a little bit. I don't know if that's great advice. I would have to think about it more, but that's what first comes to mind. So, yeah, advice for beginner artist. I'm sure I have more if I think about it too. Barger again. What art tools do you prefer to use? I'm really big on digital. I got really into digital, and after a while I just never looked back. I mean, if you want to be a professional illustrator nowadays, you can do traditional. It's a lot harder though. because just the speed of it and stuff, but you know, it is possible. But the reason why everyone gravitates towards digital now who's a professional is just because it's easier, it's faster. Easier in that it's easier to edit. It's not necessarily easier. You still need the same level of skill, unless you use, like, I don't know, if you try to like cheat with AI or something, that's no good. But I'm sure people are gonna start doing that soon. But yeah, I also, I mean, I liked painting with gouache, and I draw with pencils and ink brush pens every once in a while still, but generally speaking, digital's the way to go. And I like a screen tablet because you can see what you're doing right on the tablet, which is really useful, especially for like perspective and stuff. So yeah, I would say those are kind of essential. Screen tablets are super cheap now. You can get like a Wacom one for I think like $75 or something, and they used to be like minimum. Actually, don't quote me on that. I don't know how much the Wacom one costs. It might be more, but I know they're way cheaper now than they used to be. Screen tablets. You can also get a non-screen tablet. That works too. It's just like for stuff like heavy perspective stuff and junk like that, it's harder to work with. But yeah, screen tablet I would say is essential for digital art. And I really like Clip Studio Paint. Photoshop's good too, but I think Clip Studio Paint has better drawing feeling. The engine for drawing is better. I'm like digging through my reference right now for Gohan's face. Yeah, I would say Clip Studio Paint's amazing. Even the way it paints is a little bit more natural, a little bit more like, it feels like the color mixing and stuff is a little bit more like real painting, so I like it for that. Photoshop's really good too, but it's just different. It's not the same thing for sure. A lot of people really love Photoshop though for painting and drawing still. Let me look at this other one I have. This other drawing here. It's kind of the same angle of the face that I want. Yeah. That Toriyama profile is not a normal profile. It's very Dragon Ball Z specific. And yeah, I guess you're looking up at him a bit, huh? So you'll see some of that jaw there, that chin. I don't know what I was doing with this neck though. It's kind of all over the place. And Borger asks again, and lastly, is there any art technique that you still struggle with? For technique, like a specific technique, I would say anything that I haven't done before, is anything new, is definitely, I'll struggle with in the beginning. That's always the case. If you mean like if there's fundamentals that I still struggle with, yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect at anything. And I mean, like, I still have a lot of trouble drawing complex forms. I still have a lot of trouble drawing realistically from imagination. You know, all those things take a long time to develop. I can do, you know, when I draw from imagination and I block things in like this, and then I draw over them again, and I draw over them again, and I do more detail, I can kind of do that, but I'll still use reference for stuff and, you know, all that stuff, which is normal. But yeah, I think I struggle a lot with picking good colors too. Yeah, color is something I definitely struggle with. I don't know if there's like particular techniques that I struggle with too much though. But yeah, just fundamental stuff I still struggle with for sure. Oh, it's a V shape. Yeah, it's like this. Thanks for the questions, by the way. It's fun to answer stuff. And it's good practice for getting better at thinking while I'm drawing and talking and streaming all at the same time. Borger says, thank you so much. It's really been an honor to have you take time for my questions. It's just something I'll keep in mind in case I'll ever get back in art. Yeah, no problem, man. I don't mind answering. It's fun. Or, I don't know if you're a dude, sorry. Man or girl. But yeah, it's no problem at all. I'm happy to give advice and stuff. And yeah, art is, it's really fun, but oh yeah, no worries. You don't need to donate. Just the fact that, you know, you're watching is cool. But yeah, yeah, art's really cool, and it can be very rewarding. Even if you don't do it as a career, I think it can still be very rewarding if it's something that you like and you just like getting better at a skill, or just doing it for fun, or making stuff you want to make, whatever. But yeah, it's just practice, just like anything else, to get good at it. You get out of it definitely what you put into it. It's very true. Oh, sick, man. Thank you for subscribing. That's dope. Much appreciated. Yeah, check out more streams if you want in the future. I usually do sometime around 7. I start on Mondays through Wednesdays. That's the plan anyway. So I'll be here. Oh, that's right, he's twisting. So this is going this way, and then gonna get some folds going like this, basically. And I feel like he should be bulkier, like wider. Gohan's super buff in this movie. Might not have gotten that across. I tried to draw his chest bigger, but I guess this part has to be pushed out more too. Yeah, because it's almost like you're almost seeing this from the side, so that would definitely have that effect, pushing that silhouette out more. The torso. this arm's definitely not bulky enough. Big ol' Saiyan arms. I'll be quiet now so you can focus, Borger says. No worries, you can ask more questions if you think of them. I don't mind at all. I'll be sure to look up at the chat every now and then. Sometimes I forget, so I'm trying to be better about that. Oh yeah, his sleeves are longer. Right. Oh, that's right. His belt is like higher up, isn't it? It's more like right around his stomach, yeah. It's almost like right under the ribs, I think. Yeah, so this should be, that's throwing off the proportions. This should be higher. And that'll make it look bulkier too, because it's pushing that out. Yeah, that works, I think. Oh, and he just has a belt. It's not like the sash thing that's like wider. Yeah. Oh, that's right, and he's twisting more, so this actually probably be a little over more in the middle, because it's lower. His pelvis is pulling it that way. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And he has those pants that are super loose with lots of folds. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Looking through my reference, trying to find. Do I not have a picture of Gohan's boots? That would be handy. Oh, I can kind of see one there. I kind of know what they look like, but... Oh, I see, okay. They're about a little, maybe like a little less than mid-thigh. I mean, thigh. They're a little less than mid shin. Imagine Gohan with thigh-high boots. That'd be a very different look. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, from this angle it might be kind of hard to draw his hair. It's kind of like a low angle. I think this Gohan, the future Gohan, has the coolest hair of all the Gohans. I like how when it's short, it's just kind of like round, and then it pokes out the spikes from the side and all that. And when it's Super Saiyan, it's kind of like chopped. It just looks sick. I always thought so anyway. Maybe that's just nostalgia. I remember being obsessed with this movie when I found it as a kid at an old video store. History of Trunks. It was just such a dark, like, weird Dragon Ball Z movie. And it was so cool. And it was really cool to see how Trunks learned to go Super Saiyan too. That was awesome. It's still my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. Let's see, it's kind of a side view of his head. I mean, it is a side view, but it's also kind of low. Here we go, something like that's a little too tall for. His hair is kind of short, actually. Yeah, more like that, probably. Just block it in right now. It's not quite perfect, but. Oh, it should be a little bit shorter, yeah. It's a little too long, I think. His hair's kind of short for Super Saiyan hair. That's kind of what made it cool. It was a little different than Goku's. Oops, made the head smaller too. That's not right. That's okay. It's covered by the hair anyway. Yeah, something like that. That's starting to get there. He should still maybe be a bit bulkier. Not sure. He looks a little... Or maybe that's just the silhouette throwing me off. That... Let me see if I can start filling that in a bit. Maybe it'll read better to me. Yeah, actually, that's looking decent. Needs a little adjusting probably, but it's a start. Another thing that was crazy in that movie, about this movie, was that Gohan loses his freaking arm. It's crazy. In Dragon Ball Z, that never happened, except to Piccolo. And he just regenerated, so it didn't really count. But yeah, he loses his arm in that movie, and it's such a crazy thing. It's like, whoa, he got, like, legit injured. It just, like, had so many stakes. It was really... made it really intense to me as a kid. It's, like, serious. Whereas, like, in the rest of Dragon Ball Z, people die, but they just come back. They just get wished back with the Dragon Balls. So it cheapens it a little bit. It's fine for Dragon Ball Z, but, you know, that's what makes a story dramatic, is the risk and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I like both of these. I still can't make up my mind. I'll keep drawing on it. I'll think about it more. I'm leaning towards this one still, I think, because it's more simple still, and it's close up to the action. I kind of like that more. But this one's solid too. Maybe I'll do one right away and then I'll save the other one and I'll do another one someday. I don't know. Maybe something like that would be cool. Deciding which one will go in the portfolio though, that's tricky. I'm leaning towards the other one. Where's this layer? Did I put it somewhere else? Oh, it's right here. Yep. Okay. Alrighty, well, been on for a little over an hour, so I think I'm gonna get going now. But I'll be on again. Well, tomorrow's Thursday. Will I be on tomorrow? Normally I've been doing Mondays through Wednesdays. I didn't stream on Monday this week though, so I'm... Oh shoot. OBS... Yeah, sorry, OBS disconnected there for a second. It's back on now. Oh, is it? Wait, maybe it's not. Yeah, it just reconnected. Yeah. Sorry, OBS is acting up right on cue.